I set fire to a brothel once. It was a weekday morning. It wasn't open. The last hooker left at 7. I watched as she jumped into her boyfriend's car, stuffing an egg and bacon sandwich into her mouth. Get rid of the taste of last night's work. And then I waited till I saw the madam, a middle-aged lesbian as far as I could tell, hoist herself into a van and trundle off down the road before I set to work lighting the fire. It was in the middle of an industrial estate, conveniently hidden for those who wanted to go at night without being seen, and conveniently placed for those factory workers who wanted to get lunchtime massage or hand relief, or a whack off at knockoff. Now, I know what you're thinking. She wanted to teach those whores a lesson. Wanted to rob those nasty Johns of a place to have their debauched ways in between their smoke breaks and scarfing down a sandwich their wives had sent them off to work with. Oh yeah, and now you're thinking, I think that women are just wives or hookers, either making sandwiches or lying back and counting the cash on the bedside table. Well, fuck you. You don't know me. You don't know how I was brought up or what brought me here. You don't know my compulsions, my desires, my fears, my hatred. You aren't me, so don't fucking judge me. And now you're thinking, what an arsehole, judging us for judging her. Yeah, well, you know what? It's a vicious circle, so just watch yourselves. Sorry. I've set fire to a lot of things. Desks and cars, a rat doused with petrol. I used to take pride that I'd only ever set fire to one of each thing. I once took the TV from my parents' bedroom, blew it up in a car park. That was the last TV I did. One chair, one tree, one letterbox. But I'd never done a house before. Well, a brothel is a bit like a house. A house of ill repute, they used to call them. Or call them what you will. Cat house, whorehouse, bordello, shag factory. I wanted to burn it down because it looked like the house that I grew up in. I'm kidding. I grew up in some terraced house in Leighton. This place was double-fronted brick veneer. Would have looked good in a lovely leafy suburb. I mean, if the metal spike fence had been replaced by a white picket one, it wouldn't have looked out of place in South Kensington or Guildford. But it wasn't. It was in the middle of a factory-filled wasteland on the outskirts of Aldershot. Classy. Now, I don't want to rob anyone of their dreams or their memories. The desk I burnt was mine. The car I burnt was abandoned in a field. The rat was a neighbour's pet, but I didn't fucking know that until I'd seen the pet rat missing signs up and down a lamppost on Lygon Street. I avoided my gaze. I didn't want to see its little rat face and its little beady eyes. And I didn't want to know what some kids had called their pet vermin. Might have felt bad for little Ratty McRattison. Go on, judge me. I feel bad now, of course. Well, back then, I was a shit of a kid. High on hormones, low on dope. And that shit got me through some of the worst patches, I can tell you. And I know, I'm not supposed to replace one addiction with another, but when you're a kid with a flair for flare-ups, you don't know, or you don't care. Some kids got off on yelling at their parents. I wanted to watch things burn. A brothel seemed like the perfect place when I decided that bigger was better. I used to have this feeling that if I set fire to lots of little things, like 10 things in a night, would satisfy me, but after a while that wasn't enough. So I decided to go bigger. I decided on a house. And I'd driven past it before, I'd scoped it out without even realising. My brain had seen the potential. House, unoccupied mornings, no one's home. Industrial estate, plenty of places to watch from. Easy getaway, less guilt. Well, because as far as I can tell, hookers don't have dreams. All right, that's me being judgy. And of course, if I had been able to burn down the brothel, then they would have been out of a job or relocate to the next brothel along. And that would have sucked for them. And I don't want to see anyone out of a job, not in this market, especially not prostitutes. They're having a hard enough time as it is. Well, think about it. Hookers were, once upon a time, pretty much the only place where you could get pussy guaranteed, unless you were willing to get married, take it by force. You saved up your money, you went to a bordello, you claimed your prize. Old West madams, hookers with hearts of gold, a noble fucking profession. Nowadays, prostitutes have to compete with women ready to give it up after a few drinks. Friends with benefits, fuck buddies, wives bored with their husband's bedroom antics. I mean, what is a whore to do? Well, maybe that was playing on my mind when I half-heartedly spread the accelerant around the back door, flicked a match at it before I jumped a fence to find a rooftop to watch my handiwork and jill off. Time was, I would have made sure that the flames would have taken hold, and that once they got big enough, that they were definitely going to finish the job. You see, it's not just about watching things burn. It's about ignition. It's about combustion. It's about the blaze and the flame. But it's also about the smouldering ruin, blackened ash, the complete destruction. Just setting a fire, well, that's foreplay without the play. Watching something burn and then watching the fire brigade turn up to put it out, well, that's coitus interruptus. Then maybe I'm losing my touch. Or maybe I picked the wrong target. Maybe I'm destined only to burn things no bigger than a car. Maybe a brothel was out of my league. Or maybe I need to find a fully built house that doesn't have anyone living in it in an estate that's barely populated, so that it has time to burn itself out before the sirens come. thinking about it, it was always gonna arouse suspicion pretty quick. I mean, if men think with their dicks, then they're gonna get pretty annoyed when the local all-you-can-eat pussy hole starts smoking. I could see the flames licking at the back door and climbing up into the eaves. Just as the walls had started to blacken with oxidization, I could hear the long-distance sirens getting nearer. And sometimes the sound of sirens gets me off, you know? I know it shouldn't because, you know, the fire's the thing, right? But just getting a reaction feels like a job well done. It used to be, I'd like the feeling of the heat pricking at my skin. And then it became about watching the embrace, whatever it was devouring. And I'd hide away and watch, hand in my pants, back arched, eyelids flickering, goosebumps where the heat would play on my skin. This time, once the fireman had turned up, hoses out, dousing the flames, I just had to hide on that rooftop, hope no one could see me, and just peer over the brickwork. Just try to imagine the destruction that might have been. What my handiwork might have led to. It's been 179 days since I lit a flame. Even my oven and stovetops at home are electric. I mean, there's no place for fire in my life at all. And maybe the drugs I'm on are rounding my sharp edges, but I don't wonder if that's not a bad thing because sharp edges cause sparks and that shit always got me in trouble. The last thing I set fire to was a book. Calm down, calm down. I'm not a Nazi. It was Twilight, no great loss. And I was only doing it to calm down my roommate in rehab. And she was in for self-harm. And Jesus, if cutting yourself is self-harm, then so is reading Stephanie fucking Meyer. It had nearly been a fire-free year up until that point, but one day at a time. My name is Penny, and I'm a pyromaniac. Now you can judge me.